Hi, I'm Samantha Soriano and welcome to Samantha's Semi-Professional Bike Checks, where I've learned that mistakes make the ride better. Today we're going to be walking you through what I think is the most beautiful bike I've ever had, my Canyon Torque CF.
Rolling in smooth, yeah, she's ready to ride. Samantha Soriano got that style and that pride. Semi-pro bike check, let's break it all down. Canyon dialed in, best setup in town. Grip it, rip it, send it right. Every bolt tight, every line just right. From the bars to the brakes, she's got that flow. Semi-pro setup, let's go, let's go.
To kick it off, I run a size small. I'm 5'2", so I do run the smallest frame size that Canyon does offer. I have been on the carbon fiber version of the Torque for the past couple of years now, and I have absolutely loved my time on it. I do have it set up as 27.5 front and rear. It does come stock as a mullet, but with my height and what I'm riding, I do prefer to run it as 27.5 front and rear. Now, I think one of my favorite parts about this frame is the colorway. Canyon's colorways the past couple of years have been absolutely amazing, and I tend to gravitate towards the purple frames, with the purple Sender being my first ever Canyon. In 2021, when I switched into Freeride, I started on the Sender, but then the year after I switched to riding the Torque. Now, I feel like the Torque is my Goldilocks of a Freeride bike. It's light, it's playful, it's really everything that I need to handle all of the big drops and jumps and everything that I particularly like riding out in the Utah desert. And for my height size and body weight and just my ability to maneuver a bike, it has been the perfect bike for me to do all of those things and not feel like the bike is riding me. Now, moving into suspension, I am running the Marzo Bomber 58. I have it set at 200 millimeters of travel. I run 51 PSI with 3 volume spacers. For compression, I am wide open, and for rebound, I am 6 clicks from closed. Now, suspension is where I feel like I've made the most mistakes, but also have learned the most to make my ride a lot better. When I switched over to Freeride from racing, I didn't know how to set up my bike for this particular type of riding, so I set it up with pressures that were for somebody who weighed double me, and also ran my rebound all the way closed. Now, having this particular suspension setup had me facing death way too many times to count, one of those moments being notably my 2021 formation experience. Now, that kind of started the snowball effect of, I think there's something wrong with my suspension and I really should look into how to fix it. So about 2 years ago, when I was in Colorado home for the summer, I had one of my great friends help me set up my suspension for the bike park, and in me fashion, I did not change it when I got back home and started riding all the Freeride stuff in the desert. And when I was riding those first couple of days, I thought my suspension felt amazing. It had never felt better, but it was because I was actually having suspension that worked the way that it was supposed to. Who set up my suspension? Not me. I didn't set it up. And that's why I tend to gravitate towards the Marzo product. Is it Marzo? That all being said, I tend to gravitate towards the Marzo products because of their simplicity and also the set it and forget it mentality, which I embody full-heartedly. I love being able to set my bike once and know that it will be the same every single time I ride and not have to worry about finicking with all my settings every time. And wrapping up suspension, I'm running the Marzo Bomber Air. It is 180 millimeters of travel and I'm running 160 PSI with, honestly, I have no idea how many volume spacers are in there, but it feels great.
Do you know how to count your clicks?
No, are you kidding me? Oh. Now for my compression and rebound, I'm running 9 clicks from closed on my rebound and about a 120-degree turn from closed on my compression. And another area where I feel like I've made some mistakes but also have learned a lot is my cockpit setup. I'm running the Raceface Atlas bars cut to 760, which I know you're not supposed to technically do that, but who doesn't love a little rule breaker? These bars are a 35 millimeter rise with my Raceface Atlas direct mount stem, which is 50 millimeters. When I was racing World Cups, I used to run my bars at 800s. I was never really advised to cut my bars, so I never did it. And I had a friend sit on my bike and ask me why I was running 800s when I am 5'2", and I said, I don't know, and he helped me cut my bars, and ever since then I've been running 760s. A little dirty. Now, with me being on the shorter side, I found that running a higher rise bar as well as running more spacers under my top crown and my stem has helped bring the bars closer to me, which makes me feel like I have more leverage and control over the front end of my bike. For grips, I'm running the Raceface Chester grips. I love the way that these feel, and I also love how customizable they are. I'm running the black grip clamps. I'm going for the stealthy look with the purple frame, but they have so many other great color options. I know for me, I love being able to sprinkle little bits of my personality within my bike, so little customizable parts speak to my heart. I have pretty small hands, so the size small grips have been the perfect fit for my hands. I never really struggle with arm pump with them, and I think they feel great and do last a very long time. For wheels, I'm running the Raceface Atlas wheels. Now, I haven't been on these for a terribly long time, but I've really been enjoying them so far. I'm running 27.5 both front and rear. I prefer not to run a mullet setup because it's a lot of wheel for me to maneuver, so most of the time I stick with 27.5 front and rear for all of my freeride bikes. I'm super particular about my engagement. As someone who is a very frequent offender of safety pedals, I like knowing that I'm going to get the most out of my pedal stroke when I'm doing something as a safety precaution. So I very much so enjoyed the engagement of these wheels so far. Complementing the wheels, I'm running the Continental Kryptotal tires. This is a new change for me this year, but I'm very excited to try these tires out. I've been really enjoying them so far. I'm running Enduro casing in the soft compound. For my front tire, I am running the Kryptotal front tire in the Enduro casing in the soft compound. Now in the future, I feel like I'll probably gravitate towards the super soft compound, but for now, I've really enjoyed this compound so far. I run 23 PSI in my front tire, and moving to the back, I am also running a Continental Kryptotal front tire, which in the future I think I definitely will transition into more of the Kryptotal rear, but for now I am running the front in a downhill casing and super soft. Again, with the front tire, I think I'll probably gravitate towards more of the Enduro casing. I don't think I weigh enough to really advocate for having DH casing both front and rear, as well as having the super soft compound in the rear. I think I will lean more towards the soft compound. But I've really loved this tire combination so far, but looking to make some minor changes in the future. I'm running at 23 PSI in the rear. One of the mistakes that I've learned since switching into Freeride was running too high of tire pressure. When I switched into Freeride, I was running 30-30 front and rear, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but really wasn't accomplishing what I was needing, especially on the steep technical, more ridge lines. So I dropped tire pressure both front and rear and have loved the lower tire pressure. Now, taking a look at what stops the Raceface wheels are my Shimano Saint brakes. Now, I wasn't necessarily particular about lever feel before I started running Shimano brakes, but now that I have been running these Saint brakes for the past 2-ish years, I absolutely love the lever feel. Now for rotors, I'm running 203 rotors, front and rear, with resin pads. I don't really have a ton of particular things to say about these brakes other than they're great and they do their job, and I don't have any nuances with them. I feel like if I didn't like them, I wouldn't run them, and they've really been great the past couple of years. Along with the Saint brakes, I am also running the Saint drivetrain. This is the Saint 10-speed group set, and I'm running 165mm cranks. I don't have anything super particular to say about this drivetrain other than it's been great. The one thing that I do have to say is always remember to turn your clutch on. I haven't been super great about remembering to do that, but I'm learning. Now that we're done with the entree of the bike, let's move on to the dessert aspects, all of the miscellaneous things that I think make my bike great. Starting off with the Raceface Atlas pedals, I have loved these paddles. I have really loved these. They're sticky but not too sticky, and they work great with my 510 shoes. Stock, these pedal pins come higher than I prefer, so I always put the provided metal ring in between all of the pins to shorten the height. Now moving on to what I think makes my bike most special is my I Can Do It sticker. Saying this phrase has been monumental for my career, my riding, my progression. It has changed almost everything. So having this sticker means so much to have it on my bike. Shameless plug, if you're interested in I Can Do It sticker, go to icandoitbyss.com to get yours. And last but not least are my custom vinyl logos. For me, being able to customize my bike is super important. I want my bike to be an extension of my personality, so doing custom vinyl logos was something that felt like me and add personal touches to my bike. For this bike, I chose to do the sparkly black vinyl, the same as my I Can Do It. I felt like it perfectly matched the kind of spacey galaxy vibe that I was getting from the purple colorway. And that's a wrap on my Canyon Torque bike check. If there's anything you should take away from this video, is that mistakes help you learn, and I'm so thankful for all the mistakes that helped me set up my bike to have it be my perfect bike. So happy riding, and we'll see you for the next one.
Semi-pro style, you already know. Samantha's bike check. Let's go.